So another thing related to that Les said, and this relates to the next couple of notes that I took, was he talked about the Wright brothers. And he talked about that the general belief that was around them at the time was there were sayings were like, if God wanted us to fly, he would give a man wings. Okay, so there was this general thought in the world that just wasn't something that we were supposed to do. And people didn't believe that flight was possible, nor was it something that was even desirable. And so, I've written in here in my notes that, Les said that aerodynamics existed before the Wright brothers figured it out. So it was a truth. It was there. Just no one understood it. No one believed in it. And that the Wright brothers, they knew that they developed a different belief. They believed that not only was it possible, but they took action toward understanding it to make it possible. And it took years and years and many, many failed flights and lots of disappointments, but they had a belief that kept them going. And they were not reasonable. They were unreasonable. And so Les, it's one of the notes I have in here, become unreasonable. Become unreasonable. When others around you are saying, that's kind of crazy. You want to what? You want to start a speakers coalition? That's kind of crazy. Or you want to write a book? That's kind of crazy. I don't know if that's reasonable. That's great. That's exactly where we should go. Become unreasonable. Because underneath those reasons for not doing things are beliefs that aren't serving you anymore. Is that making sense? Is this useful? All right. So the one last thing that Les shared with me and the others who were training with him in this time was, we live, how we live is a result of the story that we believe. So we believe a story about ourselves, about what's in the rearview mirror, and that's how we live our lives based upon the things that we've observed, the history that we've had, the stories that we come to believe about ourselves and about the world. And here was Les's urging to us, was that, when all is said and done and you're at your end, are you going to be happy that you lived that story? Are you going to look back and say that, yeah, I did what was comfortable. I stayed in this story. I was reasonable. I kind of did what other people expected me to do. And I'm good with that. Or are you going to be one of the rare people who says, no, I was unreasonable. I was not going to live the story that I had in my head or that others told me what I needed to be. I'm going to create a new story every single day. I'm going to map that story that's in front of me. I'm going to create my adventure. I'm going to create this amazing story that's ahead of me, regardless of what's in the rearview mirror. Do you ever notice that the rearview mirror is that big? And the windshield is that big? That's because that's as much attention as you should give to what's behind you. Sure, there are lessons you need to be aware of, what the lessons that are back there. But what's really important is what's in front of you. About crafting that story, crafting the story that's ahead of you to become what you really need to be to have the life that you desire. Someone just today, they're writing an article and they messaged me and they asked me, Don, I'm doing a compilation of how people define success. Can you give me a quote about how you define success? And I filled my coffee again. I walked around a little bit. I looked outside, looked at my dog. I looked around me. And what I came up with is that I define success as the feeling of constant growth in the direction that I choose to go. I define success as the feeling of constant growth in the direction I choose to go. So I choose it. I create the story. It can go anywhere I want it to go. And it doesn't always have to end up being a rosy story. Growth sometimes is uncomfortable, but I'm choosing it. I'm choosing it. No one else is choosing it. So I think that's very in line with the things that Les was teaching me when I had this training. So I just wanted to share with you some points that I took away. See, I got a lot more. So would you like me to do this again? Would you like me to go to my notes from some of the trainings I've done, with Les and some of the other amazing people, pull out some of the nuggets and share with you the things that I've learned and refer directly back? Would that be fun? I'm happy to do it. I just want to know, was this useful? If this was useful, just leave me a comment and I'll do more of it. I'll rummage through and find some of the cool things that I've experienced and bring them right to you as if you can be there. And I will explain what I took away from those nuggets that I got from some of the giants that I've trained with. So let me know. Give me a comment. Let me know if you found this useful, if you'd like me to do more of it. I love sharing the things that I've learned, and training with Les was one of the truly blessed things I've done. He is a master of oration. He is a master of storytelling. I learned so much from him, and I'd love to share more with you in the future. I hope you found this little lesson, this little interpretation, this little tidbit of information that I got. Yes, all right, excellent. Thank you so much for the feedback. I am going to continue to do this, and I will continue to share things like when I trained with Les and some of the other great trainers. I'll go back to my notes and I'll pull those back. Actually, it was really fun for me to remember. I could still picture being there that day and seeing Les and the way that he told stories. And I will share with you some of the things so I can impart to you just a piece of the things that Les imparted to me and some of the other greats that I've trained with. All right, well, I hope you're off to a great week. I am super, super excited by some things that are going on for Speaker's Pathway and for me personally and for others in my life. So this is Don. Have an absolutely fantastic day. Stage warrior. All right, this is Don. Peace out.